Welcome to another study in the book of James. We're on James chapter 5, verses 1 through 8. And as we look at this text, you'll find that James is giving another very practical, hard lesson that makes God's word apply to our lives. And so I would just begin with the question, do you think Jesus is coming? Well, we know he is, because he's told us that he is. But then the next question that goes along with that is, do we live like he is coming? If he was coming today, would you change anything? If he was here tomorrow, would that make any difference in your life? Well, this text challenges us with where our heart is at. It's a hard warning. He says, weep and howl for the miseries that are coming upon you. Now, why does God give us such a stark warning? Does it mean that he's a hard, vengeful God? No, we know that that's not him and that's not his character. So why is it that he would give us this warning like this? It's for our benefit. It doesn't matter to him how we live and where we go. It doesn't affect him. But how we live affects us and affects those around us. And so he gives us a warning for our good. In that text, he also gives us encouragement. But hang on, that's coming. Before we get to the encouragement side, we need to look at what does he warn us about. Well, if you look at the verses 1 through 6, it gives us several warnings. 4 of them specifically I'd like to highlight. First, that we hoard. Well, we know that in the United States we hoard. Anybody that's lived in their house for any length of time knows when they try to move how much we have accumulated. And then we even highlight TV shows, the hoarders. And yet, there's more than just that. It's an attitude of our heart where we are holding on to things for ourselves. We're trying to accumulate for ourselves. It's a self-centered type of attitude. And that rolls into the next warning that he gives regarding holding back from others. Now, maybe we don't have fields that we are holding back pay to somebody else, but there's other ways that we hold back. We are a country that thrives on getting a good deal and finding that being good stewards of everything that we have. We have attitudes that are self-centered in nature, and whatever we can gain and whatever we can hold back from someone else. And then that rolls into the third warning he gives. It is regarding self-indulgence. Jesus highlights the story of a man who had a great harvest. And he asked himself, what should I do? I will tear down my old barns and build bigger ones. Then I will sit back and relax and say, you have plenty for many years to come. And Jesus says, you fool, for tonight your life will be required of you. So it's a progression. We start with the hoarding, we hold back from others, then we indulge ourselves and lavish on ourselves. And fourth, then we hurt others. James describes condemning them and murder. Well, maybe we can think in our minds that that's not who we are. And yet we have anger and hate towards those who are different, who have different perspectives, things that we don't understand, attitudes that don't line up with our own. It's a divided country, and we can see those angry attitudes cropping up in our lives. Then James comes to the encouragement in verses 7 and 8. He says, be patient 3 times. It's a point that he's trying to make. And he compares patience to the harvest, where we have to wait for the produce to be ready. He compares it to the rain. Comes in its season. He compares it to the coming of the Lord. If the Lord is coming, and we know he is, then we need to live like it. And be patient waiting for that. Not idle patience, but active readiness. And he even describes the term, establish your hearts. Make it ready for Jesus to come. And then this text would not be complete unless we looked at verse 9, where it describes the judge that is standing at the door. Now notice that the word judge is capitalized. It's referring to a person. So who is that person that is the judge? Well, we know that that's Jesus. And so we can look at these same warnings or these same encouragements with respect to the character of the judge. And instead of hoarding everything of heaven that was his, he said, no, I invite you to be my child. I want you to be an heir of heaven. Does he hold anything back? No, he leaves the comforts of heaven and makes his home on earth to bring us along with, to show us the way to go to him. Is Jesus self-indulgent? No, he fasts for 40 days in the desert when he battles Satan. And what about the hurts towards others? You know, he takes all of the hurts that we have in our hearts and he takes them to the cross. He is the one that paid his life on behalf of ours. He is patient, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to the knowledge of the truth. And he went before us, making ready. He said, behold, I am going before you. If I were not coming again, would I have told you? No, I am going to prepare a place for you. So this text has a harsh warning. We need to look at that and see how it applies to our life. It has some encouragement, this time of waiting that we're in the middle of. And it gives us a perspective of the future, a value system that is different than what we hold on this earth. Because the judge who is coming is the one that fulfilled all of these warnings himself. I hope you enjoy this text. I hope you really grow in it. And we will be looking forward to growing together in God's Word. Thank you.